case of any health issues. This is their training usually. So if it's seen, it can be identified. I believe, like they said, we will not fly an Ebola patient out of the country. The person can be identified on the plane as well, and it will be returned back when the plane comes back, take the next batch. And it's also very easy to disinfect the airplane upon landing.
Yeah, since we are still on the issue of the health status, some few days back, the international media was awash with reports that there is an outbreak of a disease they call mass disease within Saudi Arabia that is contacted through their camels. So there are fears already that within Saudi Arabia, when the pilgrims arrive, even though they may be healthy, they could contact this disease. What assurances do we have that while in Saudi Arabia, our own Nigerian pilgrims don't contact this? Because, I mean, Hajj is also associated with sacrifice of animals, isn't it?
Yes.
Ustaz Siddiq.
This case of mass is in Riyadh. In Riyadh, the capital. And it's not now. It has been there for about 2 years. So since we have crossed that threshold, we shall cross this also. It's not in Mecca, Medina, where the holy sites are situated.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. But what precautionary arrangements have been made? Alhaji Adebayo.
Yeah, thank you very much. You and I know that for that large number to travel outside the country, the federal government has provided health facilities for the intending pilgrims. And you and me know that our head of medical has put in place, when you have large number of people, about 2 million plus, there is bound to be that kind of diseases, and the medical has provided a mask. When you are in the crowd, in the crowded place, you make sure you mask yourself so that you don't bring any foreign diseases back home. So our pilgrims have been advised that when you are in a congregation where you have large numbers, you try as much as possible to use these mouth masks to cover your mouth and your nose so that you don't bring in any foreign diseases back to the country.
And you have done that, right?
We've done that. We procured the land, the
Ustaz
numbers.
Siddiq, did you see that? I mean, you just came by.
Of course, I did. And there is this law now operating, he knows better, that no aircraft comes into the country without fleeting it at the point of departure and before landing. That I have witnessed.
Captain
Yes,
Michelle.
this is being intensified. And besides, just to add to what the commissioner has said, actually we've been through some training programs and orientations, and so with them, they invite all the airlines to come. I made sure I attended all, our people all attended all, and they gave us extra caution and precautionary ways to attend to our passengers. I believe this year, generally, I'm very impressed with what the Commission has done in terms of health awareness and all that. And they invited, including, of course, the one we did at the other place, including all the stakeholders for all the states. So it is left for the states now, but as far as he is concerned, they've done their own. I believe also the states have disseminated the messages down. So I believe we are all prepared.
Now let's go to the condition of pilgrims while in Saudi Arabia. Now, Alhaji Adebayo just told us more than half are already there. Ustaz Siddiq had already mentioned that the feeding arrangement is excellent. But let's look at it now in detail. I think we should start with Honorable Saleh now. What was it like last year, the feeding arrangement, and what do you think it is now? Let's hear, because you are a member of the House of Representatives that has oversight over the Hajj Commission itself.
Well, actually, the feeding arrangement last year was very, very good, but there was room for improvement. Simply because, if I remember correctly, the Saudi Arabian government had conditions that were not really good to us, because they had wanted their cooks to cook food for us. And then you can imagine a Saudi national cooking a local food. It's bound to taste somehow. And that's basically the challenge we had last year, if I remember. And then we at a meeting, we brought this up, and then we suggested that this year we invite local Nigerian cooks to come to the camps to prepare the foods for the pilgrims, especially at Muna. because that's where you really require the right food. And I'm sure this arrangement has been made this year, and it will manifest itself by the time we get there.
Well, Alhaji Adebayo, as someone who is in charge of policy, personnel, finance, and management of the Hajj Commission, certainly that should be your responsibility squarely, I suppose.
You mean Philip?
Yes.
It's one of my responsibility. You and I know that the moment you're in Saudi Arabia, you are bound to obey the law of the country. And the law of Saudi specify that for you to cook, you must have a registered kitchen. Knowing fully well there's no way Nigeria can go there and cook because you are not domiciled in Saudi Arabia. So what we do this year, we pre-qualify about 35 big companies in Saudi Arabia. So we screen them, our inspectorate went to their kitchen, look at their capacity. Knowing their capacity, then we'll be able to know the numbers of state, we'll be able to assign to them. Because capacity is very, very important. You know, businessman, we want to take more than what he can shoot. But at our own hand, we make sure we control it and divide stage to each of the caterer based on their capacity. We didn't force any company on any state. We asked the state to discuss, to choose among the array of caterer that we have pre-qualified. And this year, inshallah, the reports, the feeling I'm getting from Saudi, the companies are doing well. Because we also advise the company that they can partner with Nigerians who can cook our meal. The taste of our meal and theirs are the same thing. So this year is going to be better, inshallah. What we need to do is to monitor, to make sure that the caterer serve the food, the menu, agreed by the state and the caterer. So that at the end of the day, we all have each free Hajj for 2014.
Well, that's a very elaborate arrangement, but for the two gentlemen here whose responsibility is to take the pilgrims to the Holy Land, it would be nice to hear from them, even though Ustaz had already started commenting that it was excellent. But what is the what will you say is the difference this year that made you to say it's an excellent arrangement, feeding arrangement?
I think maybe we conversed in cross purpose. I was trying to assess the accommodation aspect in Medina, which I saw unprecedented and that surpassed what we were used to in Medina itself. On feeding, I would support what the commissioner has mentioned and even chip in some advice. He is very passionate, the commissioner, when it comes to the issue of Nigerian pilgrims, as is the policy of the commission in Saudi Arabia. We have had some problems, as the Honorable has alluded to when he was speaking. Now, the Saudi law, as he has said, is for the caterers to satisfy certain conditions. Health issues are there and so on. But as the Honorable has said, we need the local touch. The best you can do to a Nigerian is for him to go to a restaurant and see amala and see tuwo, shinkapa, miyan kuka, and so on. If the Indian will have access to his cuisine, and the Chinese and the Turkish and so on, why won't a Nigerian? So this is a Saudi company that has not specialized in providing our meals. And the conditions are so stringent that the residents, Nigerian that are in Saudi Arabia, will not be able to come in. The commission would further assist in empowering our people here. The restaurants here, we have our own qualifications and they are okay. They can also be there and maybe incorporated, if not permanently, but at least for the operation, so that we will have the real taste of the Nigerian dish.
Is it possible to? Is that arrangement possible this year, or are you talking of next year?
I'm talking of maybe to plan against next year.
Well, let's hear from Captain Michele.
Well, actually, I happen to have talked to somebody. I just came back myself from Saudi, and they really commended the arrangement. But I would like to agree with the two that it is, if you go to anywhere in this world that matters, you see Chinese restaurant. Indian restaurants and what have you. Nigeria is the 7th most populated country in the world. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, and Nigeria being who we are very dynamic people, very good. Everybody's looking to come to Nigeria now for investment and all that, regardless of our challenges and all that. So, it would be ideal really that even next year, we should not just stop at having the Saudis incorporate our people. Why can't we have, Nigerians can have licensed school for their people? After all, if a Nigerian cooks, we can go into a Nigerian restaurant in every other place except Saudi. So why shouldn't it be so? Because if you look at the group of people that come every year to the Holy Land, you find that Nigeria is not a number figure to discount at all. It's one of the major countries. So I think they should push harder. I commend them so far, but they should push harder and make sure the Nigerians get licensed to cook for Nigerians next year. But so far, I think from the past years that I've been involved in Hajj, I think there's been a gradual progress and very commendable one at that. Yeah.
Honorable, what do you think?
Yes, I'm in agreement with the captain. It's true that there's a gradual positive change in the general preparation of Hajj, especially on feeding, as we just discussed. And then, of course, if a Nigerian kitchen could be established in whatever guise in Saudi Arabia, it will be the better, all the better for the Nigerian program.
Well, before we come to the issue of Nigerian kitchen, what was responsible for, if you like, of doing away of this new Saudi policy? Because I'm aware that there were Nigerians some who were even born in Saudi Arabia, who are Saudi citizens, who have small restaurants, and Nigerian pilgrims can afford such food items that they sell. But now the issue of affordability comes in, and then why were these Nigerian or this Saudi citizens stopped from plying their business of small restaurants by the sides of the road?
Yeah, you know, Hajj is a very peculiar things that not everybody can come in. Because even apart from the citizens that are residents in Saudi Arabia, there are Hajj law that we need to follow. And that will depend on the MOU that we sign with the Ministry of Hajj as per Nigeria. Nigeria that cooks in Saudi Arabia are for what quantity? The numbers. We're talking about 66,000 people at a time. You can imagine the kind of kitchen you need to have. So at the small level, we have small Nigerian restaurant. But when it comes to core Hajj, they may not be able to fix it, except they now intensify and go into capital intensive kitchen. For a kitchen that will cook a food for 66,000, breakfast, lunch, dinner, you can imagine how massive that kitchen will be. So, but I'm sure with time we'll get there. It's a gradual process. Most of Nigeria that you're talking about, most of them are just born there. They don't have the legal permits to work.
They are not citizens.
They are not citizens. So if you are there and you don't have legal permit to work, and for you to have stayed in a particular country for 50 years, they have so-called Nigeria that work for them, but they don't know how to cook Nigerian food again. Yeah, right. They've been there for 50, 60 years. They will tell you these are Nigerians, but when you see the food they cook, it's not Nigerian food. So except you don't have partners, companies in Nigeria who could partner with them, moving this local content to Saudi Arabia. Lagos did it last year. Lagos State did it. Yes. They partner. They brought some raw material for their caterer, and it was perfect. They had Nigerian food.
Alhaji Adebayo, let's take this call. Ismaila from Zamfara. You are on to Tuesday Live. Ismaila Musa. Hello.
Yeah.
You're on to Tuesday Live, Ismaila.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Hello, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, Ismaila, we can hear you.
Sir. Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go right away. Ask your question.
Hello, sir.
Ismaila, we can hear you.
I cannot hear you very well, but let me just go ahead.
Go ahead, yes.
First of all, I am Hello, sir. First of all, I welcome the whole of you there that are making that discussion. Definitely, we have appreciated all this effort because it's educated in nature, more especially those of us that have not been in that land. It's just a question that I want to ask. Though we have been sustaining a problem of this nature in those days, that is the issue of reducing intended prisons. As far as I'm concerned, they happen to be part of those that were able to pay their money this year. But unfortunately, along the line, the Hajj provision of here as a prestige, we have had information directly from that commission that has not been there in those days. The issue here is that we normally knew that whoever intends to go to Saudi Arabia is supposed to pay his or her money in time before the Kulu Jua. And that was exactly what we did. But unfortunately, along the line, we were told that the number needed, that shows that we have exceeded the number needed. And as a result of that, majority of us were reduced. So we don't know actually whether directly the problem is from the state or directly the problem is from maybe the federal government itself, or rather the Saudi government. So that is why many of us were directly blaming the state government for doing that. So I know I'm not the only person in this case. There are a lot of us that happens to be the victims of this issue. That is why I want it in a nutshell. I want the people there on the high table to a little bit explain how that problem was able to emerge itself. Thank you, sir.
Ismaila Musa, thank you very much for your comment. He is complaining that he has been disenfranchised, some of the pilgrims, I suppose, from Zamfara State. Alhaji Yusuf Adebayo Ibrahim, I think it's your turn.
You see, I want Alhaji Ismaila to appreciate one thing, that the King, Abdullah, who is the custodian of the two holy mosques, Makkah and Medina, the last 2 years now has expended $280 billion to do expansions in Makkah and Medina. And because of that, the circular was given to all countries that the allocation will be reduced by 20%. Initially, you all know that Nigeria used to get 96,000, but because of the 20% reductions, and it's for the benefit of the Ummah all over the world. So the allocation is being reduced. So definitely the numbers.
So what is Nigeria's allocation?
6,000. 76,000.
76,000.
That's Nigeria allocation. 66 to the state and bringing over, but that's 36 state and federal capital and armed forces. Then 10,000 the tour operators in the country. So this number cannot be enough. It can't go around. Like Zamfara now, they used to get about 6,000. Maybe our allocation will be reduced to 4,000. So there's no way that number can go around. But I'm sure that the next 1 year now, by the time they complete the two holy mosques, Nigeria will even get more than 96,000. So everybody will be able to get enough allocation that will go around. So you should exercise patience. Things that cannot go around, then you need to reduce the number for us to meet the deadline of Saudi Arabia, because we cannot exceed the allocation slot given to Nigeria.
Yeah, Honorable Adiba, we'll have to come back to you again. We were on the issue of feeding and alternative arrangements that should be made or are being made for next year, because you are saying that the arrangement for this year, pilgrims just have to contend with it. Is it?
No. What I've said is that the arrangement is okay this year. You see, for a traveler, there's no need for you to say you want to eat your basic food all the time, like our local content. If they could introduce chicken, chips and chickens, rice, beans, jollof rice, it's okay. But I'm sure with time, if they could have partners with companies that are reputable, because you know it's a large scale business. It's not a business that you take one container load of local food. It will not be enough. So it requires capital. So if I'm sure Saudi caterer would like to partners if we have a reputable companies.
How did Lagos State do it?
You say what?
Because you made mention that Lagos State.
Yeah, Lagos State are able to do it because they discussed earlier with their caterer. They are able to move in their local foodstuff to Saudi Arabia for their caterer to buy from them so that they can eat their local content. Last year, their food was perfect. They eat amala, they eat semovita, they eat jollof rice, as cook as if you are in Nigeria, because you are able to move in their raw material. You cannot expect somebody who has spent 70 years in Saudi Arabia to know how to prepare tuwo. Even if you know how to prepare tuwo, what about the soup? The taste will not be the same thing. So, but by the time you are able to partner Nigerians who are caterer, who are a reputable company, then this local content will be able to achieve it.
Well, let's go ahead.
Yes, I just want to add maybe 2 points. I think either he or the honorable mentioned that Nigeria is not, the number of pilgrims going for Hajj from Nigeria should not be toyed with by any authority. The issue of the Nigerians that have been there and have forgotten how to cook Nigerian food. Another point is they do it in an unhygienic way. By the roadside, some of the stuff are not washed. They will just cook it. If you pass by them, you can see what greets you of the repelling odor. They said by law you cannot establish any company without an indigene, this Saudization, whatever. So it is good for either investors or the Hajj Commission to have a company that has locals in it and Nigerians, so that they would be able to satisfy that. As he has said, it's a large something. It's not a small scale business. We have done something at our own level. Every year, whatever number the Hajj Commission gives us, we stay at Hilton. Now we said, look, management of Hilton, listen, we are Nigerians. Our people do not like all this food you are providing. Provide our food or we'll go to another hotel. They said, okay, no problem. Get us those people who can cook your food. Bring your food stuff. Whatever, it's not Nigerian, like meat, chicken, you can have at the restaurant. They gave us a separate kitchen in Medina Hilton to cook our own food under our supervision. And our pilgrim said, this is exactly Nigerian.
But what percentage of pilgrims can afford to stay in Hilton?
No. It's just an example. Oh. It's just an example. So if we can do it with 100, 200 pilgrims, we can make Hilton Hotel to acquiesce to what we want. The commission that controls more number would do more than that.
Yeah, let's take this call. Jibrin from Niger is on the line. Jibrin, you're on to Tuesday Live. Let's have your question. Jibrin, you're on to Tuesday Live. Hello? Maybe we've lost him. You can go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I think I have made the point.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Now, okay, let's look at the issue of. We may have to leave the issue of feeding for now. Okay. I mean, let's look at the issue of transportation. That's one area that pilgrims, on the average, or encounter a lot of challenges. Either the buses are not forthcoming, or they pay for the buses. The buses will not come in time, or the buses are overcrowded. Even though now I understand the railway is there and others, but how the percentage of pilgrims that can go through the rail system is very minimal. What arrangements have been made for the transportation of pilgrims generally from Jeddah to Mecca to Medina? Let me hear from the tour operators first, okay, before we get further detail from Alhaji Adebayo and Honorable Sani.
You mentioned the train. The train, as it is now, Nigerians are not part of the group using the train. Other nationalities are using it.
Just a minute. Okay. I understand Jibrin is back. Jibrin, you are on to Tuesday Live. Jibrin from Niger State.
Hello.
Hello, Jibrin, you're on to Tuesday Live. Ask your question.
Hello.
Hello, go ahead and ask your question, please.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Jibrin, calling from Niger State. Please, sir, I want to know if someone, I heard someone is suffering from the diabetes, and he was placed in a special meal food. I need that. So, and this person is going to Hajj, he's going to travel to Saudi Arabia. I don't know how he can manage that he can maintain. I don't know.
Yeah, very good question, Jibrin. I think Alhaji Adebayo will have to answer that because he was the one that told us that it's rice, chicken, and other things. A diabetic patient who is a pilgrim, what arrangements have been made to take care of special cases like that?
It's very simple. The caterer will give forms to each of the states. There's what we call healthy food. Once you allow him to know your ailment, there are healthy food that's going to prepare for such intending pilgrims. But in an event that is not aware, a lot of people don't really tell the caterer or the Hajj officials their medical history. Once they're able to know your medical history, they have healthy food that they will prepare for you that will meet your conditions, and inshallah you'll be able to do your Hajj.
Yeah, at what point will such a pilgrim notify the caterers? Upon arrival or?
Right from home.
Oh,
There's a form that they might give to every intended pilgrim to fill, where you put in your medical history. On arrival on the kingdom, the state official will discuss with the caterer that so number of my pilgrims has so type of ailment, and this is the kind of food they will eat. Then the caterer will strictly adhere to it. But in an event they didn't allow him to know, there's nothing you could do. Once you are able to put that in your form, the head of the medical team of the state will transmit that one to the federal medical team, where they will now discuss with the caterer. It's very simple.
Ustaz Sadiq, have you had such cases?
Of
Special patient or pilgrims who require special feeding?
Yeah, just like the commission has mentioned, you know, once we are notified from here, we take care at the Saudi end. Yeah.
Ali from Kano, you're on to Tuesday Live. Ali from
Hello?
Kano. Yeah, hello. This is Tuesday Live. Ask your question.
Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Assalamu alaikum, good evening.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go right away, please.
Let me welcome all the guests, and God bless you for this very good program. My contribution is on the issue of food.
Go ahead.
We have a lot of good processed food in Nigeria made by Nigerian companies, which can be used in feeding our pilgrims. For example, we have Kununtamia instant, we have Pura instant, but all can be used easily for our pilgrims. The issue is now for the Hajj Commission to make sure that they encourage all the caterers that are going to be handling Nigerian pilgrims to be using this Nigerian food. We have pounded yam, we have all sorts of food that are internationally certified and are being sold in the shops outside Nigeria, which if the commission shows interest and if the commission put their legs down that this should happen, it should happen. Ordinarily, if they allow the Saudis, they will never ever want to take this food for Nigerians. And the Nigerian caterers that we are talking of, they need a lot of guidance and backing.
Yeah, Ali, I think your observations are correct, but Alhaji Adebayo is here to clear the air.
Well, thank you very much, Alhaji Ali. You and me know that if you want to do business, you get the correct paper, approach the correct organizations. But if you come to National Commission, we'll be able to give you guidance. But I want to tell you that if you want to do business in another country, you have to obey the law of that country. Saudi Arabia is not Nigeria. They also have businessmen. If anything happens in Nigeria, if anything happens to one single pilgrim, you know it's in the head of Saudi Arabia. You have to be cautious of those who's going to cook for us in Saudi Arabia. But if you want to do business, arrange meeting with national commissions and any other stakeholders, then you will also be pre-qualified and you'll be given the job to do.
Yeah, let's come back to the issue of transportation. Ustaz Siddiq, you mentioned it in person, but let's hear from Captain Michelia.
Well,
usually it is one challenge that pilgrims go through.
there's a ground transportation
yes,
was there.
Yes.
Well, I would like to go back small and continue with this. I had something to say about this food thing.
Okay.
Everybody has spoken for the need to have Nigerian cooks and look after our people. I know that the airlines, the Hajj Commission, the government, everybody is preoccupied, especially during Hajj, to ensure that each citizen gets a fair trial, fair chance, and goes hitch-free and comes back hitch-free. But I would want us to also add, you know, this is a special journey, which desires a lot of sacrifice. We've talked of issues of food and health. Now, I would want us to also add that if you know that your health conditions are in a state whereby you need a special care, then when you're going to a mass production place, you know, you can't get a special care. So we should learn to educate our pilgrims to make sure that they get to a level where they can manage on their own or feed on anything. And then the Saudis' restriction is not as if they are doing it to humiliate anybody. No. I think we should also tell our people that all those restrictions are in place because they are the host of Allah's guest. And you cannot refuse anybody, Allah's guest, freedom to do his worship. So when they put these things in place, they are not doing it for punishment because they are responsible for each and every pilgrim. Now, we must not be afraid to also tell ourselves that, you know, when we go into the public, there are ways that we're supposed to conduct ourselves. Like the president has said at the departure time that we should conduct ourselves properly.
Yes.
So we should also encourage our citizens to understand all these restrictions and then apply it. That way, we are going there with the understanding that it's not our home. We are going on a special journey. So whatever we see, we take. And then face more challenging issues in terms of preparations. And like this disease is something that nobody anticipated. So we preoccupy ourselves doing some of those things that come as challenge rather than things that we can naturally overcome. So I just wanted to say that. Now going back to, okay, you wanted to say?
Well, sorry, but I think the issue of feeding, you would see in this sitting, we would not allot any time that close to what we have given to the feeding aspect. Maybe the commission can have a public meeting or whatever, town hall, and you would see what Nigerians will say. They are particular about their food. We have people who will pay thousands of dollars that cover the feeding, will remain in the room and call this type of Nigerians who have forgotten how to cook Nigerian food and say, please give me tuomi kuka. Because he doesn't want to eat it.
Doesn't want to eat there,
and you are there for about 2-3 weeks and so on, eating the same. There is nothing but rice. The only thing on the menu is rice. Everything they would prepare, rice will be there. So you will be tired of eating one kind of food always. That is the issue. Now, one area that in the preparation, here we know our chef, mostly they are women. If you talk about cooking, we are always thinking about women in the kitchen. In Saudi Arabia, it is prohibited to find a woman in the kitchen. Only a man can cook the food. So maybe it's a challenge to any company that wants to invest in Saudi Arabia to start training men chefs who would go and cook Nigerian food in Saudi Arabia.
Let's take this call. Kingsley from Maitama. Hello? Hello, Kingsley?
Hello?
Yeah, Kingsley, you're on to Tuesday Live.
Yeah, my name is Kingsley from Abuja. Though I am a Christian,
Go ahead.
now there is a measure to check in people into Mecca from Nigeria because of Ebola. Now, is there any other measure being put in place by the Hajj officials that as they are coming back home, as you are landing in the port, you'll be checked before you go to your various destinations? That's my question. And secondly, though I am a Christian, I want to appreciate what the four gentlemen that are sitting there talking about, because I know that they have put up a very good condition and measure for the pilgrims to go, because I have the opportunity of having a couple of friends that are Muslim. Previous time they complain and, things are not properly done, this and that, but this time, everything is 5 steps forward. I really commend your effort. And that's question, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kingsley. Kingsley is talking about arrangements or precautionary measures for that health measures taken or been taken or that are being prepared for programs when they are coming back. As Captain Michele may like to come in here, because I mean, you people are responsible for bringing back these programs.
Yes, I think what has been done for departure is going to be done there as well, because what you see before you board the plane in Saudi now, they also have something similar to this. So we saw in the background, the doctor was saying, the head of Nigerian medical team, they have put so much, and from the seminars and workshops that we've had is all part of it. So I believe that just like they are checking them here, they are going to check them there too. And at the check-in counters too, before boarding, we're going to check people as well for the same thing before they board the airplanes. You have to take the temperature, that's the first thing, to see whether the person has an abnormal temperature. If he has an abnormal temperature, that's a simple invitation to check him first whether is it Ebola, what kind of disease is it.
Oh,
before they yes, and they offload him and change him on the next flight. Now, it's good to also quickly inform so that it doesn't cause a rancor. If a pilgrim is removed from this flight, particular flight, it does not mean that he has lost his seat. One can easily put him on another flight. But most of our people might think, because they told him he has to go back on this flight, and then it becomes an issue. If a pilgrim is offloaded for health reasons or any special reason for that matter, the pilgrim should not worry. The airline, the Hajj committee will already have plans on how we can transport the person. Yeah. Now back to the transportation issue.
Yeah.
Now I've seen that the arrangement that the tour operators, Muassasa, and everyone has done is actually perfect. You talked of people being overcrowded, the bus is late, or what have you. Now, it is good that we tell ourselves the truth sometimes. The system is arranged. The buses are paid for. They always come on time. I believe so. Only once in a while where natural circumstances could cause a delay. But where does this problem come normally? Most of the time, the pilgrims themselves, they cause the problem. So if you have a bus that's supposed to carry 35 people, and they are maybe carrying a full flight, so you look at, let's say, a flight of 350 people, that's 10 buses. Now, you find the man who is scheduled to go in this first bus, you go in the second bus. Because my friend is in that bus, you find them going to, they would rather join that
They
bus.
will insist they must
Exactly.
be.
Then they either leave one bus is full or what. So basically what I'm saying here is, it's not as if the arrangement has failed. No. It is the way we use those arrangements as people that sometimes majorly causes the problem. But I believe also with the interactions that we've had now, the last time you invited all of us, the hall was too full, and I was wondering, how many states do we have in Nigeria now? Is it 200 states? Actually, they call all coordinators of small groups in every local government, and they ask them to all come. So if there is a problem this year, I'll be surprised. But well, we don't know.
Well, let's hear from Ustaz Sadiq. He is a tour operator, Hajj tour operator.
Yes.
What are you telling your pilgrims?
There are two systems. Number one, whether we like it or not, there cannot be enough buses in Saudi Arabia during Hajj to take all pilgrims at the same time from one point to another. They have a system they call Taraddudiyya.
In English?
In English, like
As a bus lane.
yeah, it's a special lane for the buses.
All right.
And it's like saying to and fro. It takes you from one point to another, and it will come back and be repeating it ad nauseum. Now, we need to train ourselves, as the captain has mentioned, and tell ourselves the truth. We are impatient. Not only that my friend is in that bus, I have to be, but I must go by this bus. You would see some nationals with one or two guides, and they would wait patiently. They would be on a straight line, wait patiently, each one waiting for their turn. But we want to leave now. We want to leave now. And if you put many buses than what we have now, more than what we, even with this, 2 years ago, we took like 7 or 8 hours between Arafah, Muzdalifah, and Mina. We were stuck. You can't move an inch. So with this, I think the main issue is patience, because some of the buses are to carry a group and return for the next, like going for Mina, going for Arafah, and so on. Our pilgrims want to leave now. So with the tour operators, there is a different system. Most of us forsake the bus syndicate arrangement. Yes, we have paid. We are entitled for a bus from the bus syndicate arrangement. All our pilgrims, you have to pay for that as a condition. But in spite of that, we pay for extra buses. And those buses will remain with you for the whole period. So in a way, you are given like sadaqah to, yes, and then paying extra to make sure that your pilgrims don't wait.
Well, you have said that it's not possible to have enough buses each year, which presupposes that ab initio pilgrims should expect challenges in the area of transportation. These are issues that we will trash again, and as we will go on break now. When we come back, the issue of transportation and several other challenges Nigerian pilgrims will be encountering is going to be tackled by our panelists. Don't go away.
The struggle for independence had been a long and tough one. Our founding fathers and compatriots sacrificed their comfort and even shed their blood. We cannot at this point in history afford to spirit away their sacrifices for immediate but temporary gains of today. Let us emphasize what unites and not what divides us. Working for the unity of purpose with a stronger vision for a better tomorrow. NTA, growing with the nation.
Together, no matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together. Let's stop fighting each other. Let us live as one. It doesn't matter where you come from, your tribe or religion, man, woman or child. It doesn't matter who you are. Put Nigeria first. No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together.
How can we develop when we're always in crisis? Families have become refugees in their country. No matter our differences, show some understanding.
No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together.
Nigeria, the only country we can train with remarkable potentials to excel. Let us believe in ourselves and change our attitude for the sake of our country and generations unborn. Let us revive our cultural values, which are our essence as a nation. Let us renew the spirit of patriotism and hope in our dear country. Do not take or give bribe. Be punctual always. No more African time. We can't expect to be global citizens and operate on African time. Join the queue. Insist that people are attended to on a first-come basis, no matter who they are or where they come from.
Nigeria, good people, great nation.
NTA Tuesday Live, a network issue-oriented innovation talk show.
Well, the issue is planning for a hitch-free Hajj operation in 2014. Once again, our panelists are here. We have Honorable Awalu Dahiru Saleh, Vice Chairman, House Committee on Foreign Affairs. We have Captain Ibrahim Michelia, Chairman, Westlink Airline, representing air carriers on the panel here. We have Ustaz Abubakar Siddiq, Islamic cleric and Hajj tour operator. And of course, we have Alhaji Yusuf Ibrahim Adebayo, Commissioner in the National Hajj Commission. Gentlemen, welcome back. We have trashed out the issue of transportation. Let's look at several other issues. Last year, there was this question of Muharram for female pilgrims. Have you had any of those cases?
You asking?
Yeah.
Okay. Of course, we had a problem of Muharram last year, and it was amiably solved.
2 years ago.
2 years ago. 2 years ago, sorry. Oh, 2 years ago. Thanks for the correction. Yes, it was 2 years ago. It was amicably solved. Because I remember I was part of the delegation that went to Saudi Arabia to discuss with the kingdom as to how this thing should be solved. And then, fortunately, the commissioner.
And I think the delegation was led by the Speaker, House of Representatives.
It was led by the Speaker, House of Representatives. We went there and then we were received cordially, and then an amicable solution was found. And then we came back, and then almost every female pilgrim that was returned back to Nigeria had an opportunity to come back if she so wishes. And I think the commissioner here could confirm how many of them decided to come back to Saudi Arabia that year. But the option was for them to decide whether to go or not, because the pavement has been made. They can either come or stay back in Nigeria, because technically, I remember most of them suffered. They really suffered at that point when they knew they were coming back to Nigeria, and they were held captive for some time before they were brought back. And I think it was their health was at stake. Their feeding was really, really bad then. I remember that happening. But all the same, they were pacified and they were asked to come back if they so wish.
Have we had any cases of such cases this year?
No, I can't remember that happening.
Alhaji Adebayo, what precautions have we taken?
Even 2 years ago that incident happened, everybody that was returned went back to do Hajj, alhamdulillah. So this year we don't have such cases, because we have asked all the state pilgrim board to make sure that every intended pilgrim travel with his or her Muharram. The Muharram is a guide, so we make sure that they travel with their guide. So this year we don't have such cases.
Well, the tour operator, certainly his perspective would be germane here. Ustaz Siddiq.
I think something good came out of that problem. Something good came out of it. what the commissioner meant by having a guide is what the Maliki school, which we now operate in Nigeria, to some extent, almost everybody.
You mean the Maliki
The Maliki school of thought.
Islamic jurisprudence.
Yes, and which is current here, and the Saudi authorities know that we are Malikis. To them, Rifqa Ma'muna, a trusted company, is enough to serve as mahram. And we've been crying for something. That look, there is a stage in life that a woman reaches where she doesn't need a mahram. And the system that we do for visa for the pilgrims does not provide for that. But when that issue, as the Honorable has mentioned, has been cleared, now on the system we can have women, any woman that is above 45 years of age does not need a mahram, even on the system. And we have processed many visas like that. Only women below that age would have to be accompanied by a mahram. So I think it was a bad thing, but something good came out.
Something positive came out.
Positive, yes. Alhamdulillah.
So, Captain Michelle, there's no challenge in that area.
We don't have any challenge as airline. We carry everybody. So once you have a visa, that's all we need. If you have a visa, you fly. You don't have to have. So it's at the point of entry. And that's the requirement for Saudi. And it's been there for years. So now I'm glad to hear that they are above age 45.
You don't need it.
Yeah, because I mean, previous years we had to carry 65-year-old women with Muharram and all that.
And I think one thing they have done this year, which we should be aware, is that Hajj is going internet. They call it e-Hajj now.
Yes.
Everything is online. This year we have done e-Hajj almost halfway. But next year is going to be complete. 100%. This year, you have to enter the details of the pilgrim, accommodation in Medina online, accommodation in Mecca online, feeding arrangement, what company, tents, transportation, everything is online. So the days you spend in Saudi Arabia trying to make arrangement for Hajj has been reduced to just few hours. There was one who actually finished everything within a day.
So that means
normally we stay for 2 weeks.
For state pilgrims.
It covers everybody: state pilgrims, tour commission, everybody,
tour guides,
everybody,
the airliners.
It makes life easy.
Everything. It makes life very easy. They said next year we don't even need to go to Saudi Arabia to make any arrangements. Once you know your hotel and so on, you can do everything in the comfort of your office, and everything is done. And you print your visas and go to and that's all. So Hajj is becoming
easier. But wouldn't it be a challenge for the average Nigerian pilgrim who is not computer literate?
That is not his problem. Either the state does it for him, the National Hajj or the tour operator would do it for the pilgrim. The pilgrim only waits for his passport. And the visa will be there, and all arrangements have been done. So for the era of now I'm in Saudi Arabia, I'm stranded, I have no accommodation or it's gone.
It's gone.
Well, let's look at the issue of sanitation. We talked about health of pilgrims from here when they arrive. There is this issue of sanitation of the tents in Muna and the environment of Muna. Let's address that. What will pilgrims expect now? Should pilgrims expect this year? Elijah Adibayo, we'll start with you.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
I was waiting for that.
You know that Mina is the cross of Hajj, where large numbers, about 2 million, perform Hajj every year, to 2.5 million every year. So the tent Nigeria is going to be is tent C, where you have your mattress, your pillow, your blanket under the tent. We have series of meetings with the State Pilgrim Welfare Board. That's a healthy environment is very encouraging. You see, most of the death is within the tent. After feeding, they left the takeaway park, they buy this, they left it within the tent. So they need to coordinate themselves to remove the refuse from their tent to outside where the municipal will be able to pack them out. The state need to organize themselves because there's no way they.
You mean the pilgrims?
The pilgrims, they need to organize
So
themselves.
what are you telling them?
Each state pilgrim welfare board has a sanitation officer in charge of everything that coordinates to make sure that the refuse is being moved outside for the municipal to move them away. Because the inside tell there's no way the outsider will be able to enter except those that are living there.
We'll come back to that issue. We have Abu Bakr from Abuja. Let's hear him. Abu Bakr, you're on to Tuesday Live.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My question here is about the cost of Nigerian food. What effort are they making that this food become affordable to Nigerians?
Very well. Cost of the food stuff that will be affordability of food stuff while in Saudi Arabia by the pilgrims.
What we have done at Hajj Commission is to make sure we have a standard price for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So for any state that want to go above that standard, you negotiate with your caterer.
What's the standard?
Well, this year I think it's 15 riyal, Saudi riyal.
Equivalent of?
15 riyal is about times 45.
15 would be like close to
130, 140 naira.
Huh?
140?
No, it's more than that. Naira? It's more than that. Times,
45 to the, okay.
50 times 15. That should be 55. About 450 per meal.
450 naira per meal.
Yeah.
I think it's more than that.
It's more than that.
It's over 1,000.
Because it's like $4.
Is that about $4? 45 times
So
15.
it's quite expensive, that food. I mean, and if it is just going to be generally rice.
Per meal. Just per meal. Even
Per meal?
here, just per meal. Even here, a standard restaurant now will take 3,000 naira per meal.
Yes.
A standard restaurant in Nigeria. Yes. 3,000 per meal.
But we're talking of an average pilgrim.
It's about 15 real. 15 real. 15 reals, 15 times 2, 30.
But I think, in all fairness because you have to eat healthy.
You have to be healthy.
And that has been already pre-programmed and pre-planned in the cost of Hajj. So once you have made up your mind to go on Hajj, I'm sure you can afford that 15. I don't think by the Saudi living standard, 15 real is quite affordable.
15
should
real.
be affordable to the Nigerian pilgrim.
Yeah. 750 naira.
Ustad is trying to
750 naira.
750 naira.
It's not much.
It's not
for
too
a
much.
meal. 750 naira.
For somebody who is preparing to
Somebody that has paid about 800,000 naira.
I mean, to afford to pay
750
flight ticket and all that, that's
not
okay.
expensive.
You save for it. That's a factor you also have to consider.
The question will be, is it worth it? Do they get the worth of their money? That's the question. But I don't think that's the issue here. They do, isn't it?
They do.
Well, since we have addressed that, let's look at luggage handling. That is one sticky point. And the several years of Hajj operations is one area that particularly the airlifters and of course the Hajj tour guide operators is one challenge that you've always had every year. What arrangements have been made this year so that pilgrims don't have excess luggages, and where they do have, what penalties, and the issue of missing luggages? Ustaz Siddiq, we'll start with it.
Oh, but I thought the captain.
Oh, right, okay.
Since it's the general consensus,
After the captain.
Well, even when Muhammad talked about luggage, he smiled. He knows the problem.
Yes.
Now, basically, there is, let me say this. Every year, the Hajj Commission and the airlines devise all methods, but it lasts just a few days. Nigerians have a way to be.
They are so ingenious.
You see, why is it that they insist on 747, for instance? 747 is as good as 737 to do Hajj. But Nigeria has imposed that, which is actually something that, if you allow me officially to complain, I would. Because it really
Captain Michelle, let's quickly take Lukman from Ajaokuta, and then we'll come back to your explanations. Lukman, you are on to Tuesday Live. Lukman from Ajaokuta.
Hello?
Hello, Lukman.
I'm calling from Kogi State. I have a very serious question to ask.
Go ahead.
Especially the issue of Hajj in terms of, government responsibility and now even the pay Hajj for people. In our community this year, we see that government never put an help to people to go back to attend Mecca this year.
Can you speak up, please?
Because particularly
Lukman, please speak up. We can hear you very well.
So I need an explanation if there is any way government can help.
Can you come again, Lukman?
The next coming Hajj.
Uh-oh.
Every year in our community, they do, pick some people that is sponsored by the government. Hello?
Hello, Lukman, can you come again? You are not very audible.
Hello? I can hear you clear, sir.
Well, you said every year in your community you have challenges. What challenges?
I can hear you clear, sir.
Well, what I was able to pick, I don't know if, gentlemen, he's talking about certain persons being the permanent person that
sponsors from the state.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. That one is there. That we're not interested in what happened in the state. As far as we are concerned, everybody that comes to Hajj pay is our money for him to go to Hajj. If the state governor decided to sponsor, that's none of our. We're not aware of that. But we do know that some state governors sponsor few people. We don't know the criteria that they use. As far as federal government is concerned, federal government does not sponsor anybody. We make sure everybody that want to go for Hajj pay for his or Hajj.
Well, let's go back to Captain Michelle and talk about this issue of luggage, excess luggage, missing luggage.
Now, every time, at the end of the day, we the airlines are blamed for every mishap. But we are not part of the planning of the mishap because they were all planned. Because, for instance, when we sign the contracts, we have what the allowance for a pilgrim. You have the hand luggage which you can carry into the airplane.
Yeah.
And then
what's the allowance for hand luggage?
10 kg.
10 and 40
and 40.
And 40 kg
40 kg for the hold.
And
most airplanes designed to do this long haul, from those that carry 200 to 300 to 400, can carry all that comfortably. The bigger airplanes are a comfort where you can carry more, like the 747. That's what I was saying, is sometimes even if you use a 757 that can carry 220 people, it's ideal and it's fantastic. As a matter of fact, economically we could say it's even better. But because of the Nigerian, our people, so we know we like to shop a lot and we are known for shopping. And there's nothing you can do to stop a Nigerian shopping because he's got the power to buy the food, to buy all these things. That's why I was surprised somebody's complaining.
In fact, some starve themselves to shop.
Thank you. So you find the average hand luggage that you're supposed to carry, you find somebody, I have, in the last Hajj I did, many years ago though, there's been great improvement so far. You have a lady was carrying one on her head, she backed one, and she's pregnant, even though you can see she's not supposed to be pregnant. No other features except the stomach. And then she's pushing one and she's holding one. So you have 5 hand luggages.
And they're all hand luggages.
They have checked in one. So in a situation like that, if you remove it, she would rather die than leave her luggage there. You don't want a scene there. So we collect those bags, we put it in the container that goes into the hold. Then the main luggage is waiting for us to carry. That was before. But I'm not saying since this thing has improved, we're not expecting to see. But what we've planned to do and what the Hajj committee has done now, they've assured us that they will not allow a pilgrim go inside the bus with more than one hand luggage.
For 2 years,
so
we'll do that.
If they can take care of that, then the luggage problem is gone. And then you also see that if you go to the weighing center to weigh the 40 kilos, the carriers have been separated. They have carriers for cargo, excess.
Yeah.
They have carriers for the Haji and his normal luggage. So if they stuck to that, then those problems will disappear automatically. Will they stick to that? I will leave Commissioner to answer that.
Well, before Commissioner answers that, let's hear from Honorable Saleh, his experiences in the last 2 years of this issue of luggages. And then we'll come back to Ustaz Sadiq and we'll leave Commissioner to wrap it up.
Oh, yes, my experience on luggage is that the last 2 years that I was there, we have, I think, a collection center in Makkah where you take your luggage and then it will be weighed. As the captain just said, if it is slightly, ever so slightly above what is your own lot, which is 40 kg, it's shifted to the cargo section, which means you're not going with your luggage. You have to come back at a later date when it arrives and to sort it out. And then, of course, you run the risk of maybe having to come back to the airport several times before you see it. And I think that also is a punishment for those who insist in buying more than they should. And of course, it's just been said here on this forum that Nigerians love to shop. We all here love to shop as long as and as far as we can afford it. And if you've shopped, you need to have it brought to Nigeria. Okay, the Nigerian government, through the NACON, National Hajj Commission, has provided a solution for you that they will take this thing as cargo. So definitely, the more you buy, the more you can take, of course, but then you can only take the allotted part of your luggage with you. The others will have to come with the cargo. And I think that's a very good arrangement.
Well, for now, good. But from what Captain Michele just said, he said somehow they find a way out of it. Let's hear from Ustaz Sadiq. How do your pilgrims find a way around the measures?
Well, the commissioner is international pilgrims don't, but I beg to disagree, sir. They do.
They all do.
They do. And most of us take the scheduled flights, and we have the same problem. Now, if you are going to another country, not Saudi Arabia, you have more luggage, you have more kg to your
Allowance
ticket.
full, yeah.
But once you are going to Jeddah, your kg is reduced to 30 for economy. You see, they are given 40 to economy. But on the scheduled carrier, you have 30 kg.
Yes, 30.
So why is that? Why?
Because naturally people want to get everything from Saudi back to their country. And at times, if you open the luggage, you would see what they call sabil. This thing they distribute sadaqah free of charge.
Okay.
It will be part of the luggage. I don't know, is it because that pilgrim needs it, or he wants to, there is a special barakah, blessing in it that he wants to bring home? Because what is there in taking a Coke drink or Pepsi or whatever from Saudi Arabia that is available here? You know, and a lot of things. So
what do you tell them?
It's there.
What do you tell them?
We say, please be careful, because if you come on a scheduled carrier, what you pay for excess luggage is a lot. It's a lot. To discourage people from taking, that is why they are charging for excess. Yes.
Let's take this call from Demola. Demola, you're on to Tuesday Live.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Thank you for the opportunity given me to express my opinion on the recent directive by the military authorities banning men and women of the force not to travel on pilgrimage. It is worrisome because if they knew that their people will not be allowed to travel, they wouldn't have even allowed them to, put in their application or pay their money for the pilgrimage.
Okay.
And Hajj being the last pillar of Islam is a compulsory thing. And one will remember that even during the Civil War era, men and women were not barred from performing pilgrimage. What is the authorities doing in respect of this?
Yeah, thank you, Demola. I think Elijah Adebayo will answer that. The issue, you first of all answer Demola's question, and then you address the issue of the luggage.
Okay, I think what Ademola is saying, it has been solved. The issue of saying that why do they allow them to travel?
Military personnel. He was asking of the banning of military personnel from from going on pilgrimage. Is that right?
I'm not aware of that. Maybe that's.
I think it is true because we have some military personnel that have withdrawn.
Maybe that's
their
Ministry of Defense.
Yes, we have. It's true. It's true. It's true.
I'm happy not be aware of that. You don't military has their
and I think it is understandable given the security challenges facing the country, where the government says, look, military officers should not travel. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Yes, it does. It does.
Well, let's go back to our issue of the luggage. Captain Michele said the commission has now come up with a lot of measures.
Yeah, it's
but
true.
whether they are foolproof is what he is not.
No, I'm sure if he knows that last year is reducing year by year. We agree that Nigeria likes shopping. But when you shop, since we have told them that your 40 kg, make sure you take it to a weighing center. We don't take our loads to the airport to reduce the numbers of hours they will spend on screening. So what we do, we have what we call luggage management committee. The luggage management committee will go around each of the states to make sure that their 40 kg is being delivered to their weighing center. For those that have more than 40 kg, we have excess cargo companies that will pre-qualify. We even get back guarantee from them. That at least if you give them your goods will get home. Because we take guarantees to make sure that your goods are safe. So we advise those that want to buy more than 40 kg to patronize those that are qualified companies for excess cargo. If they do that, I think last year is reducing. I'm sure this year we will not get such things because we've really educated them that make sure you take your 40 kg for weighing center. Any excess, take it to excess cargo. They'll bring you home for you safely.
What measures will you do or are you putting in place?
Yeah, we have a committee that will run.
To ensure that we don't have what Captain Michele mentioned, the issue of people having more than 4 or 5 hand luggages.
No, he knows that last year such thing does not happen because we have what we call pre-airport screening. We do that before they go into the bus. Our officials go around their departure center to screen their bag before you get to the bus. Once they discover you have more than 1 hand luggage, they drop it. Heap of bag that we drop back to various states last year. So they make sure they screen you before you enter the bus. They make sure you go waiting well and luggage. The moment you have more than 1, they drop it. They ask you to go to excess luggage and cargo it to Nigeria.
Well, so far, let's talk about homebound pilgrimage, or rather, homebound travel by the pilgrims. The issue of the capacity of aircraft comes in, the issue of whereby you have some pilgrims preferring to go last and then wanting to come back first. This year, 2014, Honorable Saleh, this is something that has to do more with the elites. So let's start with you.
Oh yes, as you said correctly, the elites prefer to stay as few days as possible in the Holy Land. And more often than not, they prepare their own traveling. And if they even, some of them could come with a regular Hajj operator and then probably pay a different ticket and come back home. I've seen that happen over the years that I have been part of this team. And then I think it's for the elites normally. And then any other person who follows the Hajj system, the pilgrimage, has to follow what their tour operator has prepared. And I think it's normally first in, first out. And, if I'm correct.
Yeah,
so it's first out. So, and by virtue of the fact that you don't hold your passport.
Is it religiously followed?
Religiously followed. Religiously followed. Yes, religiously followed.
Well, yes, I agree with him, with the commissioner. It's religiously followed because, number one, your passport is not with you.
Yeah.
It gets to you when you are about to leave. And that's when the company, the tour operator, is good and ready for you to come to the airport and leave. That's when they will call you out of your residence. So technically, you have no right to come to the airport. In fact, there's nobody who has access to the airport unless he is a traveler with all the requisite papers with him. And basically, the papers won't even come to you unless you are at the airport terminal, because all the documents will be with your driver in the bus or whoever is taking care of that particular bus. So you come in as a team, you drop as a team, and then you become an individual traveler after you receive your passport. And that happens within the airport, which is restricted.
Ustaz Siddiq.
Okay, well, if there has been corrections for what obtained in the past, that credit must go to the commission. As we are now more organized. I'm certain you are referring to a situation whereby the big men will go with the last flight and come back with the first flight. Their passport is not a problem. They know how to get their passports. At times, the passports are not even submitted. They are in possession of their passports, and they
Why?
will tell.
How?
Well,
how do they do it?
Well, I think it's a long topic.
Let's address it.
because
is it the fault of the commission?
No, I think
they have their passports with them.
No, I think under diplomatic arrangement, some top VIPs can have what is kafala, guardianship.
That's if you have a diplomatic passport.
Yes, and you will be able to go out of the airport with your passport. And some would go out of the airport through the back door. Yes, through the back door. And that is the Saudi side now. So they have to look into that. Once you arrive and you want to go away with your passport from the Jeddah airport, of course you can make arrangement, and some nationals will carry you maybe in the boot of their car or whatever, and you are out of the airport with your passport at a price. And that is both a problem for the state pilgrims and for the tour because once the number given to you has not touched your field office, it's a problem. And you will tell people, please, can I have your passport? If you can't give me a copy of the passport to show these people that you are actually here. So that is not our problem. I think the problem is in the other side.
Well, Captain Michalia, is that it? There's also the issue of some of the airlifters you're rather using smaller aircrafts instead of using bigger, more roomy aircrafts.
Well, technically, if the airplane has got the range and a capacity to a number, it's really not a problem. It's about planning, in actual fact.
I'm not stopping you, but let's take Idris. I understand he's been on the line for a while. Idris from Kaduna, let's quickly hear from you. This is Tuesday Live. Hello, Idris.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me? Good evening.
Yes, please, go ahead.
Hello. Yes,
Idris, go right ahead, please.
This is Idris from Kaduna. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Actually, I've been to Saudi Arabia and I witnessed that there's a Nigerian restaurant in Mecca. So why won't the Nigerian government aid the Nigerians in diaspora over there so that we could help develop our nation as well as our citizens in preparing Nigerian dishes such as the tuwon? Because I was even surprised to buy tuwon shinkafa miya kuka at Kadri Wahidin for my mother. You know, I was even impressed, even saying I will come back a second time. You know?
Well, the commissioner for National Hajj Commission is here, so he's listening to you. He's saying there are Nigerian restaurants over there, and he's wondering why they should not be patronized.
I'm not aware of any Nigerian restaurants in Mecca. Maybe he didn't know. And if they are, maybe they are just small restaurants that the Sheikh mentioned that they cook in an hygienic environment. I'm sure they are not a reputable restaurant.
Well, Honorable Saleh wants to come.
Yes, I think I should accept what he just said. I saw a big sign Nigerian restaurant in Makkah. I saw it myself. I went to
Nigerian restaurant?
No, not Nigerian.
Not Nigerian restaurant.
I didn't see Nigerians there. Maybe when he went there were Nigerians.
It's closed.
I should think so.
It's closed.
It's closed down.
It's just the sign was closed.
It's closed.
Okay, because of the new policy.
It's closed.
No. Maybe they have their own
I have no idea.
immigration policy as well.
It's closed.
Maybe, I'm sure.
The restaurant is closed.
Captain Michelle, let's go right ahead with the issue
Yeah,
of
so
aircraft.
I was saying they say some bring smaller aircraft. Now, I want us not to forget one thing. One, we do not have access to airplane like others do. So I want us to commend all the operators in this country. Special commendation to them for all the efforts they've done so far. But what we are saying is that, yes, it's desirable to have larger airplanes move a large number at once.
Yes.
But where you have an operation of 3,000, 4,000 people, and you give it to a particular airline, and any kind of aeroplane from 200, they can plan their flights well if they start early and so on. That does not cause the problem for the delay in coming back. I don't believe aircraft size has caused the problem. The problem has always been how we organize behave ourselves as people. But as for the airplane, the return phase, usually you have a lot of rancor. Like for what we are planning to do this year, for instance, if you buy a ticket, you go and buy your ticket, because we're dealing with my colleague here, we just like you go to buy a BA ticket or KLM ticket, you book departure X day, coming X day, and that's what we stick to. But they say, okay, supposing somebody has a medical emergency, he needs to go home, something happened, he needs to go quickly. No problem. Suggest to us one person that we can swap you with, and we swap you, and it will work. If you can't, we will find people we know, we can give them some kind of enticement. Drop your seat, take tomorrow, you leave on 15th, we want anybody volunteer who can take 20th. So we can take a seat and give somebody, there's an emergency. We've done that before. And they are excited to stay. We'll give you a room. We'll give you feeding. Oh, I will stay. And then you find 10 people coming for one seat. So for us this year, we have made a very, very serious and adequate plan to take care of those wanting to go early and coming back. You can change, provided and so on. But the coming back usually is an excitement by everybody, and everybody is tired, they are fulfilled. They want to, either they are tired, they want to come back, some have concealed some element, yes, or they want to come and tell the story. In fact, that's mostly the case. I want to come and tell the story that I've been, you see, because we have a culture of also, you know, I've been to X, I've been to X, it's a pride, you know, so those are some of the things.
Well, before we go to other issues, let me just remind our viewers that you can follow us on our Twitter handle at TuesdayLive NTA, or you can send us an email via TuesdayLive@nta.ng. Very quickly, we have this tweet from Osita Ogbe. He is saying the Ministry of Health should check Nigerians going and coming from Saudi Arabia to avoid any case of Ebola from them. Of course, we have addressed this issue at the beginning of the conversation. And of the emails we have gotten so far are from Muhyiddin Nasidi Musa from Kano, Engineer Hawa Siddiq, and Nduka Augustine. They are all talking about the issue of food and feeding that we have already addressed. Particularly Nduka is saying, considering the large number of pilgrims that will be converging at the Hajj, what provisions have been put in place to ensuring that the pilgrims do not bring in foreign diseases into the country? I think this is one issue also that we have also addressed. But you can, Alhaji Adeboye can still explain the measures, and then before we move on to other issues.
Yeah, you know, they need to know that we have a representative of Federal Ministry of Health in our board who handle all health matters. And we have doctors in all the states that are performing Hajj, different doctors, nurses, pharmacists. So I believe this health team, what's happened as we are going, the same thing you are going to do when coming back. Even Federal Ministry of Health now, even if you are coming from UK, as you are arriving, they test you. The same thing applies to Hajj traveler as well.
So at least those issues are being addressed.
Yes.
What of we've talked about the issue of airlift, but what I want all you gentlemen to address this issue of the federal government's warning that any pilgrim who extends his or her stay as given in the visa will be sanctioned. Let me start with Honorable, because he represents the elite here. as a politician?
well, of course, if you extend your stay, it means you are not welcome. You are not welcome in the kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and then you are liable to be put back and deported to Nigeria. And then again, maybe as a deterrent, the government of Nigeria would also punish you after receiving you back in the country. And I accept that as a very good thing, because there are people who really go to Saudi Arabia with no intention of coming back.
Captain Michelle?
Well, I can't agree more and commend government for this, because this is part of the problem we've been facing. It's about discipline.
Yeah.
You know, if government has come up with this, then I'm very glad, and I commend government for saying we'll punish you, because that way you find that at least we start following and conforming. The commissioner said something about other nationals will stand in the queue
peacefully,
and then you will not. All this is part of discipline, and if the government is facing it squarely, I clap for them.
I don't see it working. I mean, how is it possible? The Saudi authority can say you have overstayed your visa. But how can the Nigerian authorities establish the fact that I have overstayed my visa? The only thing I can do is to reschedule my ticket from what has been originally confirmed and come when I want to. Except where the government here means that those people that have been arrested in Saudi Arabia as visa overstayers and transported back to the country, they will be further punished there. Then I concede.
I think that is what
I'm sure they're referring to.
Alhaji Adebayo, what is the penalty if any pilgrim overstays his welcome and his visa?
On the state level, for you to travel to Saudi Arabia, when you are given a form, you must have a guarantor. Somebody must grant this form that you will not overstay. The overstay, the government is saying, are not those that are extended by 2 or 3 days, are those that permanently want to stay in Saudi Arabia, disguising to stay in Saudi Arabia that they are going to perform Hajj. Those are the overstay the government is saying. Because when you are being arrested, apprehended over there, they bring you back here. Government will also punish you. So what we do at our own hand is that every state, every year, if you have one overstayer, we reduce your seat by some percentage. So that has really reduced drastically in the state now, because if we give you 4,000 this year and 2 of your pilgrims could not come back, we'll reduce your seat by 50 or 100. So state officials are very sure that they make sure that anybody that goes to through their state come back. But in a situation where you have 60,000, maybe 5 or 10 we overstay. But when we come back here, because we may not know, but their agent in Saudi Arabia will tell us at the end of every exercise, so number has not returned back to Nigeria after Hajj. So if they are apprehended over there and they are brought back to Nigeria, Nigeria will also punish them. But this year is going to be very difficult, and it's going to be minimal because of this e-track. Before you are being given a visa, your data is already in the system in their country. If you are the type that they don't want to enter their country, they disqualify you, because every state and tour operator must buy a passport reader.
In fact, I was going to come to that. Where are we in the e-tracking system? Where are we?
I think this year, the Sheikh, I've told you that this year, every state, once you put in your passport reader, all your information goes there, your data goes there. The only area we have known that they said by next year everything is going to be e-track. Just like you are traveling to London now, you book your hotel through the internet, you just get to the airport and they pick you go to your hotel. So I'm sure by next year that's what's going to happen. All hotels will be put in a portal. Every hotel in Saudi Arabia will put in a portal with prices and distance to Haram. If you have money for 5-star, you pick 5-star. If you have money for 3-star hotel, you pick 3-star hotel. You have money for 2-star hotel, you pick 2-star hotel. So you don't even need to go to Saudi Arabia. In as much that once you pay, and the agreement will be transmitted into the system, and you'll be given a visa. If you don't have that, visa will not be given to you. Unlike those days that is when you get to Saudi Arabia, that you may not even get accommodation to stay.
Well, as we round off, let's look at this issue of commendation to the Hajj Commission for recording zero abscondment, especially in the last 2 years. I will start with Honorable Saleh, and then everybody will speak. Of course, Alhaji Adebayo will be the last.
Yes, I think it's worthy of mention that the Hajj Commission, that's the Nigerian Hajj Commission, has been up and running when it comes to making sure rules are being followed as and when they should be. And then I, as an oversighter in the last 2-3 years, would tell you that things are improving by the day, or rather in this case by the year. And of course, the issue at stake here is that the National Health Commission should be seen to be doing the right thing at all times, because we need to make a united front when we go to perform our Hajj, our pilgrimage. But we must also take into cognizance the fact that not all Nigerians have the same level of understanding educationally. Some of them cannot read, those people who go to Saudi Arabia, so they need to be guided. And of course, there's always chances of them going astray. Oh, all right, they will be doing things wrong. So they need to be guided. And this guidance system that is being put in place year after year is improving by the day. So for that, I commend the National Health Commission.
Captain Michelle.
Well, as for us, the carriers, over the years, there has been great transformation in how we get selected and so on. Very transparent now and all that. The only thing is that there are still great challenges. You know, it would be nice if we had, in the future constitution of the NACON, if they can have...
The Act.
Yes, if they can have professionals also for all the areas, like somebody who's into estate, for accommodation, but for aviation,
like you have medical doctors for the health.
It's part of the act. It's all part of the act.
Yeah. Now, so and the issues with this year, for instance, we have serious delays. It's not the fault of the commission or the government here, but it was because of the demand made by the Saudis that they should take 50% of our pilgrims. Now, at the end of the day, the pressure fell back on the airlines and we are left alone. Nobody's helping us much. I believe if in the future we can look at that so that when such things happen and there's a pressure and problem, we should all face that thing, the government, everybody. We are not saying the government doesn't do anything, because as we speak now, we've made some complaints about certain things and the government is looking at it very seriously. We also know that the Saudis, because they are dealing with all countries of the world, their attention sometimes you don't get it when you need it. So we are also aware of that. But generally speaking, we like to commend the government of the day today for all the things they've done now. And they are geared into helping us a lot. And I can see the seriousness in what they are trying to do, and we appreciate that as carriers.
And the issue of reduction in abscondments in the last 2 years?
Well, it really does. You know, when they don't come back, they should change us really too, because we lose their money. Yes. So it's not a thing that we wanted, but the reduction of this is something that is tremendous. It's great that we no longer have what do you call? We used to call them, what was it?
Overstayers.
Flight, and then there was a flight. It was a big business in the past.
Yes.
We used to do. What's the name of that flight? It's called.
The last one.
Deportive flights. We actually used to plan for deportive flights after Hajj. Now, if you want to plan for deportive flight, you can even plan, which is good, very commendable, and I'm happy about that. And not only government, but Nigerians too. That means we are beginning to learn to stay in order, in line with
Ustaz Sadiq.
Yes, tour operators do not have overstayers because normally they deal with the elite. The commissioner has been saying inadvertently 66.
You deal with the international programs.
66. You know, this 66,000 that he's been mentioning, they are the 66,000 of the state.
Of the state.
I think
10,000 for top.
So he forgot the 10,000. I just hope that with all these commendations for the commission and these innovative things that they are bringing, they should also look at the possibility of increasing the number for the tour operators. So that next time
has it been static in the last 3 years?
It has been.
Because of the reduction in the allocation of slots given to us in Saudi Arabia.
So let us have more.
By the time they increase our slot, we also increase the slot of tour operators.
You see, this year about 200 of us applied, and the commission approved about 130. To share 10,000 seats. Yeah. I think they should make it easy for themselves and give us more.
And give you more business.
So yeah,
you see, I think the reason we are getting is part of the transformation agenda of the Mr. President. Excellent. At least if you are comfortable at home, why do you need to stay in another country? Why do you need to go out?
Oh, yes.
So to my brother here is that the numbers, the majority of Nigeria, the population, 36 states and FCT and armed forces, that's 6,000 is not even enough. By the time they finish the renovation work they are doing in the 2 holy mosques, the number will be increased and there will be more numbers for tour operators.
Thank you very much.
So what trick did you use to get, in the last 2 years, drastic reduction in abscondments?
Is that what?
What trick did the commission use?
That was the trick that we used, that we make sure that we reduce the seat of every state that has a single abscondee. We reduce their seat year by year. By then, if your seat is 5,000 this year and you have 2, we reduce your seat. So by then now, they make sure that every district head assigned as guarantor, they say to them that you must come back. Come back home because you are going for Hajj. You must come back home.
So all in all, we are in for a hitch-free 2014 Hajj.
Inshallah. Operation. Inshallah.
So far, at the beginning, you told us out of the 76,000, we have airlifted how many?
We have airlifted 30,217 has been airlifted so far. Out of the 66,000.
And the deadline is 28th.
28th of, and we intend to finish the flight on maybe 2 days before the deadline. Inshallah. To commit our operations to prayer.
Yes. Exactly. Gentlemen, thank you so much. We have to end it here, and it's an issue that we can't exhaust. But here is hoping and praying, like Elijah Adebayo said, with prayers, we expect to have a hitch-free airlift of Nigerian pilgrims and a hitch-free 2014 Hajj. Gentlemen, let me start with Honorable Awalu Ahiru Saleh, Vice Chairman, House Committee on Foreign Affairs. Thank you very, very much for your insight and for you give us an inkling into the oversights that you have made over the years. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The pleasure.
And of course, Alhaji Yusuf Ibrahim Adebayo, Honorable Commissioner, National Hajj Commission, who is in charge of policy, personnel, finance, and management. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And here is hoping that your prayers will be answered.
Thank you very much.
Of course, we have Captain Ibrahim Michelia, Chairman, Westlink Airline, who represented the air carriers here. Thank you so much, sir, for coming.
Thank you very
much. And last but not the least, Alhaji, or rather Ustaz Abubakar Siddiq,
Anyone goes.
Islamic cleric, Hajj tour operator. And here is hoping that your prayer will also be answered, an increase in the number of from 10,000, you said, to 20,000. Oh, 30,000. Alhaji Adebayo is listening. Thank you so much for being part of this edition of Tuesday Live. Viewers, here is where we end it all, and the topic has been a hitch-free 2014 Hajj airlift and operations for Nigerians. You've had it all. Alhaji Adebayo said we so far have taken or airlifted about 30,000 out of the 76,000 that has been allocated to Nigeria. And the deadline, once again, is the 28th of September. And the gentlemen here have all expressed the hope that all the pilgrims will be airlifted before this deadline. And of course, here we say thank you for being there. I'm Muhammad Kudu Abubakar saying bye for now. That's Tuesday Live for this week.